Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to a new week, a new beach clean adventure with myself, Professor Labs. And this week, I'm actually at a bit of a different spot than I've been the previous few weeks, and that's because I've sort of been inspired lately by some other cleanup efforts I've seen online. A lot of people who comment on my videos do inland cleanups and different types of waterways, so I figured I'd do something a little bit different this week for exactly that reason. And so I'm actually at a local harbor and some local wetlands, which of course are connected to the oceans, and that's sort of the point. And I'd figure I'd do a cleanup here because I haven't in just so long. Now, obviously, there's a lot that I want to talk about in addition to that, but, just basically starting out, I originally parked at this sort of local parking spot area for this inside of this harbor wetland area. But I found this really cool trail in the woods here, so I'm going to try to walk down there, see if I can get access to the shoreline on the inside of this harbor and see what we can find. Unfortunately, like I said, from my experience watching all sorts of different internet content of people doing all sorts of different cleanups, there's no shortage of wetland trash. And I mean, honestly, I'm not even sure if this counts as a wetland. I don't even know really what a wetland is, but this is a harbor area where I see land, and it's typically often wet because of the tide. So there's reeds and that type of stuff. I assume that's what counts as wetlands. So anyways, it's a beautiful day out, not nearly as windy or cold as it was last week. I have my t-shirt on right now, but I'll pop on my jacket because it's not that warm. It is November, almost Thanksgiving. So yeah, I am really curious what I can find here. This is a really cool spot actually, because I didn't even know this little stretch of road existed, and it says I can park here. There's gates down at the end, and they say it's open till 7, so hopefully they don't lock me in before then, and I think I'll be out way before then, but you never know. I see a car parked down there, so that's a good sign that this is in fact publicly accessible area. You always want to be careful with that as a beach clean person or a cleaner-upper. Usually people are really friendly and really open to you coming by and cleaning up if that's what you're doing, but you never know, somebody locks a gate and then you're sort of stranded. But anyways, check your local rules for that reason. But yeah, we're going to head on out, see what we can find. So I got my bags, my trash picker, and let's go for a little hike and see what trash treasures await us in the wetlands. This is so cool. Like I said, I had no idea that this was here. Oh, I see my first trash. I try to record and I instantly find trash. That there is a doggy poopy bag. I may have to get that at the end. Luckily, the trail goes in, it comes out, so we'll be back. But yeah, anyways, this is a really nice little trail here. And where there's little trails, there's lots of people over time who sometimes leave trash like that. So yeah, it looks like we can access the harbor down here, so let's keep going. I should mention as well that I just bought a new pair of shoes, and the bottoms are white, so what better way to destroy them than going through tide line muck. Well, that looks tenuous. This drop-off doesn't look that steep probably, but it's a good 12, 14 feet maybe. So I'm going to scurry down and see if I can find anything in these reeds over here. Let's see. Yeah, so right along here, like I said previously, there is so much that can run off into the ocean, and starting with these wetland areas, especially where the tides come in with the shallow land. And I see already some cans and bottles, and those might have been left by people, but they also might have just come off the road over time. So either way, they're trash and they're on their way to becoming ocean pollution, both metal and plastic. So let's get picking. Nothing like a pair of undies. So there's actually a lot of great stuff down there, which is really good to know for future cleanups. But, you know, there's also so much undergrowth, and we've had a couple of below freezing nights lately. So I assume and I hope most of the ticks are dead, but I don't want to push my luck just yet. So I'll definitely be back here in the winter when I think it's a little bit safer to get in deeper in those reeds for more trash. But I got a bunch already in this one bag, and I'm still going to keep cleaning. I'm just going to go around to the sort of more less tick prone areas, back to that original parking lot that I found. So let's keep going. Let us not forget our poop bag. Now, so this is more what I'm talking about. Let's take a look. Yeah, so you can see here how this tide line muck, don't want to step in that with my new shoes, but it is definitely where trash can land and then be brought out to sea. So we're going to walk along the fringe here at least and see what we can collect. Whew. All right, well, I think that went extremely well, and extremely well, unfortunately, means I found a lot of trash. I filled up my bags, 2 bags. Again, they're just paper grocery shopping bags, but yeah, I filled them up pretty quickly. So it's probably at least 5 pounds of trash, and I will definitely be coming back to this spot, especially over the winter. You know, that's something I talk a lot about with these videos, how a lot of people think that summertime is the only time for beach cleanups, or if they beach clean in the fall, it's like an end of summer beach clean type of vibe, type of thing. And honestly, I think the winter is the best time, because as long as it's not too windy like today, it's quite beautiful. You heat up just fine. I'm back in my t-shirt and it's like 48 degrees out today. So not quite winter yet. It will get colder, but this has been definitely an educational-ish experience for me as well, because as I said, I think I've beach cleaned in places like this before, of course, but seeing sort of that undergrowth that has died off and how you can clean in some of these areas that are not accessible during the summer months means that once the winter hits and those areas are even more accessible, there's going to be a lot of older trash there for sure, from either the summer or again just throughout the year. I mean, if you look through the clips I include in this video, a lot of this trash, yeah, it might start at the beach, but others, it just runs off over time from street side runoff. The street is right here, and you see those kind of pipes that are drainage pipes that might leak stuff too from street level or further inland, whatever the case is. So yeah, trash comes from all sorts of places. And again, I found pretty much everything, the full spread of what I would normally expect to find: bottle caps, lids, cans, cigarette butts, you know, all the hits, unfortunately. But yeah, it is good to see this stuff and, you know, get out what I can. And yeah, nice little haul here today. So I will be back next week. I don't know exactly with what. Haven't decided yet, but we'll probably explore a new area. We'll see with finals grading. We're getting into that time of year, so it's a little tricky. I have to get back and actually meet with students for office hours, so that's why I'm wrapping up quickly this week. But I did want to show you just a couple of other things that I found that I thought were interesting. Well, maybe just this one item. Like I said, I want to keep it quick this week, and that was this old shoelace, which I don't know if this is plastic. I assume it has some plastic fibers in it. I remember I did a shoe beach cleanup once because I found like, I don't know, 50 pairs of shoes just in some wetland type areas. This was maybe a year or two ago. And yeah, I remember reading that shoes are maybe half plastic, 50% plastic. So maybe the shoelaces too. I know the tips are at least. So yeah, a lot of this stuff, it just comes from all sorts of different sources. And as well, if I think about some of what I found today, you know, even stuff just kind of like clearly they're fresh, it definitely is worth getting fresh because some of it you can recycle, such as bottles or cans. So maybe I'll be able to do some of that with some of this, but the rest, at least we're getting it out of this wetland environment. As I've said previously, also, some of this stuff does get tangled in biomass. You can sort of see it. I've seen birds and those sorts of critters, and I know others have tangled in wires and strings and all sorts of ropes and that stuff too. So don't know if it solves the issue, but it's certainly helpful in its own way, and that's really all we can do, I feel. I don't like the idea of proselytizing like I'm better than anyone for coming out here and just picking up garbage, but I think sharing those experiences and hearing what others have to do is sort of those steps in the right direction. That's always what I'm trying to promote and show. So if you have thoughts or experiences of your own, especially with wetland cleanups, I would love to hear. I've had so many great experiences in the last few videos with comments in my videos. As I've said, that's why I wanted to do wetlands today. So shout out to all you inland cleaners again once more. So if you have other tips, experiences, I would love to hear all of that. So again, yeah, please comment. And if you want more of these adventures, you can always subscribe. There's a button somewhere in the corner of the screen. I don't really care too much about subscribers, but it's just talking to people that I really enjoy. That's the professor in me, I suppose. Love sharing and learning more. So anyways, yeah, I would say this was a successful wetland beach clean. I dirtied my new white shoes perfectly well. Maybe that's why I found this shoelace, you know, so I can replace my shoelaces, which are already getting soiled. Luckily, they're not that bad, my new shoelaces yet, but anyways, I thought that was funny. So yeah, thanks for joining me on this week's adventure, and we will be back, yeah, probably next week. Grading pending. So until then, stay safe out there. Thanks again. Be well, clean well, and hope to see you on the beach. Bye-bye.